For this survey, you need to estimate distances. There are two types of estimation practice that will probably help you. There are steps or pacing, and then there is visual estimating of distances. We're going to go into steps first. So to measure your step, take 10 plus steps. Measure the distance from the front of your shoe when you started to the front of your shoe when you ended in meters. Then divide the measurement by the number of steps, and then do that a handful of times. Knowing your step will be helpful with these surveys. It can be really useful to know what a meter-long step feels like for the cover estimates, or at least know how many steps it takes you to get 5 meters. I also kind of estimate visual distances in my head by saying, well, that's 1 step, that's 2 steps, that's 3 steps. That's probably like 6 steps for me to get there. For me, my step is a meter almost exactly, so that makes my life easy. But I highly encourage you to know what your step is, or to actively try to take meter-long steps. Practice that, get the feel for what that feels like. I have made 3 distance estimation courses. These also serve as equipment pickup sites. I wanted to throw that in there. This is where you will pick up your equipment from. The Game and Parks office in Norfolk, Tram State Park, just north and west of the main building and parking lot. You can see the stakes from the road. And then the Lincoln Outdoor Education Center behind the main building on your way to the archery range is where these are set up. You will get all this information in the supplemental material with maps on how to find them at the specific site, but now it's on the recording. So you will receive this with your supplemental material as well. You'll write down your estimate, the actual distance to the stake, and then the difference, plus or minus, doesn't matter. We'll go over that more in just a second. And then you also have a place to write down your angle estimates and your actual and what the right answer was, to kind of compare those as well. So you don't need to read this. This is for anyone that will be outside of convenient drive range to the distance estimation practice areas. If you go to this website, it will tell you how to set up your own. It is basically the instructions I use to set up my area. But yeah, it tells you how to do the distance estimating. So you would make your estimates. You would then see what the actual one is. So in this case, you guess 8 meters. The right answer is 10 meters. So you're off by 2. It doesn't matter if you are short or long. The answer is just a number, no plus or minus. Add all of those up, divide by the total of the right answer, and then you get the percent that you missed. And if you subtract that from 100, you get the percent that you are right. And we'd like you to be in the less than 10% wrong range, or 90% right range. So we're looking for the excellent rating here to be able to do the surveys. So here's what it kind of looks like. You would stand at A. You would estimate to all of the other stakes. Write down your guess on that data sheet I just showed. Find out what the correct answer was. Add up the total difference, or write the total difference. There we go. Again, it doesn't matter if we're positive or negative here. We're just writing numbers. We'll add this up. We'll get the total distance, the actual total distance, which I've added for you in the answer key. That'll tell you how wrong you were. If you are more than 10% incorrect, we'll try it again. So we'll go to D this time. Don't do it at the same place twice in a row. Try to work your way through all of them before you repeat if you need to. You should have at least like 11 choices, so plenty to choose from. So we'll go to D. We'll look, make our guesses, find out what the correct answer is, write those down, get our total differences, find out our total distance, divide. We're only 4% incorrect here. That is less than 10% incorrect. If we do that twice in a row, then we're good to survey. So we're aiming for less than 10% wrong twice in a row. For the angle estimation, I have angle stakes set up past the rest of our stakes. At Schramm, they are 1 and 6. I didn't have extra stakes, so 1 and 6 are both distance stakes and angle stakes. That should be pretty clear on the answer sheet. You treat the angle stake as if it is the end point of your survey. So while we are looking at this angle stake, the degrees to A is 30, and we can show that with the protractor here. If we're looking at B, it's right about 6. So we're lining up the end of our survey with the angle stake. It is our substitute for a survey line. And then we are basing all of these measurements off of the angle stake from the stake we're at. Since C and F are greater than 90 degrees, had these been butterfly, like we're pretending they are, they would not count for our survey because we notice them behind us. And anything past 90 degrees is behind us for this survey. So once we've went one way, we're going to go the other way. Because of how angles work and how I set up the sites, you will likely exclude things going one way, but maybe not the other way. F still gets excluded in this example, but C now easily fits within our survey looking at this one. For a normal survey, you're only going to walk one direction, but while you're practicing, to give you more practice, I set up 2 endpoints, the angle stakes, to give you more opportunities to practice. And D is right about 20 degrees. I do not have a set goal for this, but do get comfortable with it. I provide a protractor in all of the supplemental material that you can use. If you get comfortable without the protractor here, you do not have to use it in the field. But if you like to use it in the field, or if you like to use it here, use it in the field. Yeah, I personally don't, but Sarah does like using the protractor. So I don't have a problem with either method so long as you are comfortable and you have gotten good at whichever method you chose. Do we have any questions on the distance estimation or angle estimation practice? We'll get into specifics of the butterfly here in a second.
Someone is wondering if they can use their rangefinder.
You can use your rangefinder to like set up an estimation practice course, but often you're not going to have anything to range to when you're doing these surveys. There's going to be a butterfly that's like 10 meters off the ground, and you just you generally need to estimate where it was when you first saw it. So you might be like on the downside of a hill and the butterfly flies up over the hill. You need to be able to range all of that, which we can't guarantee. So you will need to practice distance estimating. You can use your rangefinder to do that practice, And those instructions are, boys, a long ways back at this website here. This website
And
has
that,
instructions for setting things up. And we're looking for roughly a range of 30 meters. If you're using binoculars, you might be able to ID them past that, but you need to be able to positively ID the butterfly. So it's roughly out to a range of 30 meters that ID's certainty really falls off.
and that link's in the chat as well.
Great.
And do they have to pick up supplies, or can you mail those supplies to them?
If you're out west, I could probably be talked into mailing you supplies. There's not a ton that you can't make on your own. So the biggest supply is our plot rope, which I have instructions of how to make. And also 4 stakes, and then the supplemental materials, which you can print yourself. So talk to me about it, and we'll see if that is the best route for you, or if it's just easier for you to make your own material. If you are in the East, you will probably need to practice at one of our distance estimation practice areas. So I would just encourage you to pick it up there. But again, if that's a real issue, just talk to me.